Hello, fellow Wrestling Crusaders, and welcome to our AEW Dynasty reaction and aftermath. My name's Sean Wasker. With me, as always, is Jordan, JPL.
That's me.
That's right. I waited that time. I was like, he's going to go.
I built it up this time, too, yeah.
Yes. Yes, AEW Dynasty was this past weekend, and wow, this was a pay-per-view. And I will say this. I tested it. I finally did not do Bleacher Report this time. I actually did. I did a Triller. Is it Triller?
Mm-hmm.
Triller.
Yeah, formerly Fight, now Triller.
Yeah, I did Triller. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. The only negative that I had with Triller TV, and it's not even a big negative. It's just like, okay, I'll do that. Is that they don't play the pre-show like Bleacher Report does. So zero hour does not show up on Triller, so you have to watch it on YouTube.
I think we noticed that too. Yeah, we did a group watch, and it was off of Triller, and I think we noticed that too. Like we didn't really look that hard. We thought maybe we missed it, but yeah, we noticed that too.
Yeah, no, you have to. It's
an easy switch, but you figured why not? Because I believe the TNA, like if you ever happen to do TNA, I believe they do both. Like they'll give you the pre-show and then the main thing, but. Yes, maybe, and again, this is the first time Tony Khan did confirm in the scrum that's at least for the next 2 months as well. So maybe, like you said, if enough people say like, "Hey, let's fucking just give us the full show," so I'm not clicking around. Maybe they will. This might.
Like I said, not a huge right. Deal. Because none of the 0 hours go right to the very end. If anything, like this one, the 6-man ended 5 minutes before, so
it's around the 5 cusp, yeah.
Yeah, it gave me plenty of time to switch over in time. But yeah, no buffering issues, no dog shit, like quality. It never lost a signal. It never went downgraded in picture quality at all, like Bleacher Report does. So as long as they keep it on this, I'm gonna be happy.
I was excited when they announced that, because I personally have never really had much of a problem with Fight. I mean, they've been kind of a known established commodity for several years now, so. My only fear was this would be their biggest test ever because they don't do WWE, they do Impact, but I'm sure this was bigger than Impact's numbers. So that was my only fear. Was like maybe they won't be able to handle it, but hopefully they were ready, and I'm sure they were.
Yeah, this is my first time ever using Fight, and I was impressed. I was happy with what I saw.
You don't ever watch GCW or MLW? Get out of here. Watch more wrestling.
I have too much wrestling to watch.
It's not enough, man. You should have watched Clusterfuck. Effie's Big Gay Brunch, all that fun stuff from the last couple of weeks.
The people who don't understand what the fuck you're talking about are going, what the hell did you
No. Oh, and including your buddy Brian Michaels. I confused him when I said I'm watching the Clusterfuck and Big Gay Brunch, and he's like, what? I'm not
that might be some kind of wrestling, but it's not the wrestling we want to talk about. It is. But
Clusterfuck was great. Pujami Prison.
That's always the great thing. That's always the great thing about indie wrestling is the names of the shows that they come up with. That's one thing that I always enjoyed was when I wrestled for my companies was just like the names they came up with. I'm just like that's actually pretty good, guys. It's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm wrestling in I can't think of one on the top of the head, but I was like, I'm wrestling. Like, what the fuck is that? What's my wrestling company? It's just the name of the show this weekend. And they go, why?
Have some fun with it.
Because it's fun. It's like it doesn't have to just be called Pro Wrestling Phoenix or Magnum Pro Wrestling. Like it's just like it's Magnum Pro Wrestling presents Weekend at Strifes or some shit like that. It's like let us.
I think we in Florida for RBW, we came with the best Valentine's Day show title. Eat Your Heart Out. Come on, that's perfect.
We had My Bloody Valentine because we had a barbed wire match. We had that one. I always loved independent wrestling in their title cards and whatever we called them for whatever show. But before we jump into Dynasty, some WWE news has popped up this week. First things first, let's start with the fun. Thank God, new tag team titles for both companies.
R.I.P. pennies. R.I.P. to the pennies.
Well, what's funny is because I was watching with my girlfriend and. When they did the Raw one, I was like, you don't even know how bad it was. I was like, these used to be just fucking pennies. Like, they made them better. Like, they were worse. Like, you didn't have to deal with the fucking rusted penny belts because those things were dog shit. And at least I was like, they didn't get better until the SmackDown ones had silver, and then they're like, all right, we'll just make it that one too. But yeah, we got new tag titles. Raw's, I like. I don't dislike them, but definitely they're so SmackDown's is far superior. SmackDown's bring back that old school tag team championship feel to it. I liked Raw's, but now that SmackDown came out with theirs, I'm like, oh, I like SmackDown so much better.
There's just more thought put into it. My only qualm, and they are better. They're definitely both step above.
They're both considerable upgrades.
So I'm not gonna ultimately complain because hey, even if it's a little bit of a step back, it's definitely a bigger step forward. I just don't like the fact that they try to uniform things. I don't like that the women's world title looks like the men's world title. I don't like that the Raw tag titles look like the main title held by Priest. That's it. It's like a carbon copy. It's like like that's my only qualm is that it's way too similar to Priest's. Let's have some fun. Let's come
I don't like. I can't remember if it's the SmackDown or if it's the Raw one. I want to say it's the SmackDown one. It says Tag Team Wrestling Champion.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I don't just say Tag Team Champ. I don't like it. I don't like this as Tag Team Wrestling Champ.
I'm not sure. I didn't notice which one said wrestling.
I think it's because someone posted.
SmackDown has a bit of a loop at the top, and like I said, the Raw ones look exactly like what Priest has.
I'm gonna look it up real quick because that's gonna bug me. Because I looked at it, I was like, why? But I liked both segments. I liked not Ciampa. R-Truth double down on Triple H not being who he is. It's SmackDown's Tag Team Wrestling Champions. Yeah. So there's a negative for SmackDowns, which I don't have much negatives to it at all. It's that it says
I don't mind that the word wrestling is used in a WWE title.
I think it's because of the old school feel to it. I think it's because of that. Because I don't even think this one. Yeah, this one says wrestling champion on it. The old school.
Let's see.
I see what they're doing. Someone mocked up what the newer version of this would look like with Cody. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it looked fucking great. It's just like it added the new, like I think it was the wing belt, but instead of the world here, it was the WWE logo, what they've been doing, and it had like kind of a bluish tint to it. I don't know. I really liked the way it looked. I was like if they did that, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be cool.
But yeah, both segments I thought worked well. Even with Waller and Grayson, had them just disrespecting Triple H. I was like, why did they do that? Like Triple H has done nothing to them. But I like how Aldis was like on their ass, like right away. I was like, dude, Aldis will whip your ass, man. That guy's still ready to go. Like Nick Aldis will destroy at least Waller. In theory, maybe could put up a better fight. But yeah, so we had new belts. They look great. Now, if only they could redo the IC title, because that's the only title in the company that I'm just like, this still just looks. It looked good on Gunther. I don't think it looks good on Sammy. It hasn't. Yeah.
I think it's too new. I know that thing's not getting touched for a long time.
I don't know. The Shinsuke was champ when they had it. So
I don't know. I just feel like things last. Like I don't know. Those tag titles last longer than I thought they would. So I don't know. I don't see them necessarily redesigning it.
I think they lasted like 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see. God. I think we're in for the long haul with these. With that,
was it the same thing with the spinner belt? We were like, oh, that wasn't around that long.
Oh no,
like 10 years, man. I was like, are you?
No. I remember it being in the thick of it. Going, when are we going to replace this fucking thing?
Yeah.
It's like people outside of Cena had it, and I'm like, only Cena makes sense. Otherwise, why would anyone want this gaudy piece of shit?
The goddamn spinner belt was the
hated that
worst. I hate the old tag team titles, but the spinner belt was one of the worst trash.
That thing would have to be like 70% off in clearance before I would buy it. Like it'd have to be like.
I would still never buy that belt ever.
I would, because then I'd flip it in my mind. But I would never.
Oh man!
Unless it was super cheap, I wouldn't want to own it.
A lot of people hated the red Universal title belt. I was like, that's fine. It's better than the fucking spinner.
Anything's better than the spinner. The spinner's just, I don't know. It's childish.
It's a child gimmick, man.
Yeah.
Also with WWE, we had some releases, especially even today. In fact, watch someone get released in the middle of us shooting this. But we had Jinder Mahal, which once again he wasn't really doing much. He really wasn't. Indashir Also, not really doing much.
That whole group gone. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole group straight up left. It makes it seem like there was something else going on. The way it was done, like was there something going on, or was it a straight up release? Because it's especially.
I mean, just from a booking standpoint, nobody is a surprise.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying quality of wrestling. I think everyone that was released had potential, but like booking wise, you can't sit back and go, "Oh, they were in the middle of," no, none of these people were.
The only one that really kind of stung for me was Cameron Grimes, which happened today.
Yeah.
Because I love Cameron Grimes. I loved his music. I think everyone loved his music. I think he had loads of potential. I just don't think they just had anything for him. If anything, just send him back to NXT. Just send him back down.
That one probably stung the most because I mean I liked him since the indie days. I know he had a decent TNA run, so he could easily slide back in there potentially, if not anywhere else. But yeah, no, I just looked at his SmackDown run. He literally debuts in May. Has two victories. He squashes Baron Corbin. That's his debut. Does the foot stomp in 8 seconds, wins.
Yeah.
Has a win on Ashante Adonis, and then here's your first red flag. Isn't on TV for 2 more months. You know what I mean? Win, gone for 2 months, loses a 4-way to Ray, and then never won another match.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago he was on, and I was like, who's he wrestling? I heard Braun. I go, oh fuck!
Yeah,
I was like, he's gonna lose probably in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a minute and a half match, and that is his last WWE match. Yeah, is the Braun Breaker match,
and
which is a funny bookend, by the way. The War Dogs. He starts by squashing Corbin, and he ends by being squashed by Braun. So kind of
that actually does bookend great. The one that didn't make sense to me, just because of where we left them booking, was Xia Li.
She stings too, to be honest with you.
Because I always thought she was good. Yeah, I always thought she was good. She had just got done feuding with Becky and also Lyra, and like she loses both those matches, which were good matches. And then she was just gone. And it was like, where? I even said that, I think, on the show. I was like, where's her? Where's she at? And then she just should have got released. And it's like, okay. I don't know if it's they couldn't figure out something to do with her character, but you could grow her character.
They were starting at one point. Like, there was a cool moment where they were doing like really unique, like animated, almost anime vignettes for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the princess fighting for her warland or whatever. I don't remember what they said, but they were cool looking and they got me a little hype. And I already liked her to begin with, but she's another one that I'm sure if you looked her up, like another start and stop. A couple appearances here, a few months not on TV, a couple appearances here. But it seemed like like you said, they every once in a while, like she was one of the first NXT people in the Rumble, that first year. So like they've always seemed to like her a little bit here. And like you said, she had the recent stuff on back to NXT and then with Becky and stuff. So yeah, I thought she had a lot of potential too, man. I thought she had a cool look. I thought she offered a little something different. Carried herself decently too as both a face and a heel too. I thought when they turned her heel, that she carried herself well there. Was a good baby face as well. So that one's something too.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the others were I think the only person I'm missing is oh god, what's his name?
Zion Quinn is gone.
Yeah, I don't recall ever really watching him wrestle.
It's funny, the day before I looked up on the WWE roster and he was listed as a free agent. Because the last time they did a draft, he was one of those guys that like got called up, but like they didn't quite say if he was Raw or SmackDown. They just said like he's a free agent now, and then he did like the occasional, I think, like main event appearance, or I think he was in like a battle royal once. Yeah. But another guy that just they never ever found a spot for. Again, just leave him in NXT maybe, like because I thought
you could figure something
to a degree, but again, I never saw enough of him to really say one way or the other. So
yeah, it was just one of those things where it's just like if you don't have anything for him, I get it, but. Send him back down to developmental. Have him come up with a new story. Have him find something else to do. And
no, that's right. Yeah, damn. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, Zion Quinn won Battle Royal back in May of last year, where he lost to Mustafa Ali, and then Braun Breaker squashed him. So both him and Cameron Grimes were, hey, let Braun kill you, and then they released them both.
And just because of our bad luck, I did just check. No one else has gotten released in the span of us talking for the past 15 minutes. It doesn't mean that by the end of the show, this is not going to happen.
Or even a week from now, because this one wasn't one where it's like you said, the Cameron Grimes one came about a week or several days after the other group. So maybe it's going to be more spread out. There's sometimes where it's like in one day they're like all these people. Or
From what I'm hearing too is apparently the releases are being done a lot. I don't want to say a lot better because being fired is still being fired, but apparently it's being handled better now than it was when Vince was in charge. So
they're not sending themselves their stuff in a garbage bag like Mickey James.
Yeah, it's like they're not just like, oh, I found out I got fired on Twitter, or oh, I didn't realize I got fired. I had other people coming up and telling me I'm sorry, and I was like, why? And I was like, oh shit, I got released. It's just like at least they're like handling it better this time, which I'm once again Triple H I think understands. It's like, dude.
Yeah, as a talent, I'm sure he hopefully anyway has put more care into it because they had, like you said, there's been some weirdnesses in the past where it's like, really, that's how people found out, that's how you treated them, like. Because it is essentially it's being fired, and for some of these people, it's their dream, and you know what I mean, and their livelihood, and it's really a sad thing. That's why, like, I kind of don't wish, even on wrestlers I don't like from like a entertainment standpoint, I don't really wish on even them,
Yeah, and then last but not least, before we jump into Dynasty, Rhea got injured. So did Dom. Both arms.
Oh yeah, mommy.
Both opposite arms. But Dom. I don't know why they're keeping Dom on camera because they're saying that Dom's injuries are legitimate. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I didn't even know he got hurt. You can tell when Rhea got hurt, which was in that backstage fight with Liv. A lot of people are blaming Liv. I saw what happened. Now the chair shot. If the chair shot's what injured Rhea, then okay, that's Liv's fault. That's not what injured Rhea. It was her running into the wall. I've done that. I've messed up a shoulder. I've popped a shoulder out of place to get running into the wall like that. That's not on Liv, and that's coming from someone who doesn't like Liv. That's not on Liv. That shit just happened.
You would blame her if he could.
I would love to blame Liv for that. But yeah, Rhea had to drop her belt. Sucks. We had the battle royal last night to decide the new champion. It went to Becky. While I think you and I are agreeing, we both like Becky. We both don't agree that Becky should have won that. I don't think Becky should even have been in it. Just have Becky stay out. She was supposed to be on vacation anyway, but she was actually traveling the Europe stuff with Jay and everyone. But you thought Liv should have won it. I thought if anyone, Nia or Chelsea should have won it.
Well, no, I mean, I said I was just more keen to Liv winning it than you. I would have loved a Chelsea. I would have loved a new person. I would have loved the crowning of like a Chelsea Green, kind of really pivot to somebody who's undersung, didn't get a Mania moment. And a Battle Royal, I think, to me, is a perfect spot. You know what I mean? Because it's not a spot where, okay, if Chelsea Green just randomly won a six-way fray or a chamber, like it's like, oh, all of a sudden she's a badass. Like a Battle Royal is perfect for like a kind of a shit stirrer, like, oh shit, she was smart and just got the last elimination. You know what I mean? That's kind of where,
especially with the way they played it, because she got eliminated. And the rest were so focused on Becky that she just popped back in. I was like, yes. I was like, oh, she wanted to be so great.
Yeah. I just thought that a Battle Royal was a good chance to have fun with it, a vacancy Battle Royal win. Other than like Becky, which is cool, but it's like she could have just won it back legitimately. Even if your end goal is Becky to a degree, like I said, kind of off air, like have Becky win it then at Money in the Bank or whatever. Like let's have some fun for a minute here. And I just felt like instead we went to the status quo, the obvious.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had, and I was telling this before we got on. I was like, why not have the SmackDown women and the NXT women in this match? The draft's happening this week. You could have had any one of them be in it just to make the match feel bigger. Because I love like when they get out you have Pat and you have Cole, and they're like every woman's here, and it's like, no, it's 14 women.
They overhyped that,
Like even Tegan Knox, who's on the main roster, isn't even the fucking battle.
What a weird number, by the way. That bothers me. Like, you couldn't find a 15th, whatever.
Where was Tegan? Where was Tegan Knox?
Yeah,
she's not hurt. She could have been in it, But it's like you could have had the NXT girls packed back up. They could have had SmackDown up there because if they win, cool. Then okay, we know we have something to give them. Because I think the SmackDown. But then you're like, how's Jade Cargill not going to win? How's Bianca not going to win?
True. I could see not opening up the SmackDown in that case because then you're opening the floodgates to Jade, which then she kind of has to win.
At that point, then just throw the NXT women in because they're on NXT. Throw them in. You can chalk them up to them. Oh yeah, they're inexperienced because they're NXT, like they always try to play it. And you throw them out, but you at least get some more bodies in there. You have some potential shockers, some surprises, and stuff like that. But yeah, 14, that was off. That was a little weird. But But anyway, Becky's back to being a champ again. I don't really know what they're going to go with here outside of like Liv or Nia or maybe even Piper, which honestly I'd be more happy if it was Piper because then you can have the jealousy aspect into it. Have that little be a little
more happy. This is a fresh matchup. I mean, Becky and Nia does not scream something I want to see. That's not a knock against Nia. Just we've seen it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's no different than what we said with Seth and Drew. But Drew found a way to be different. So it allowed.
That also too. No offense, was a better match, and that was Mania. I was only hesitant because I was like, it's Mania. Let's see something fresh. Now I'm even more like, we've seen it.
Yeah, it's like I don't really see anything that Nia's gonna bring that's new to the table. Nia's always been this.
Nia's always had kind of one level to a degree.
Yeah, exactly. And the only time she had a different level, the only time she had a different level was when she was with Alexa, and they made it into like how she was bullied when she was younger and all this stuff. Like you gave her some elements then, but she's back to being.
That's not going to work with Becky. So
yeah, exactly. She's just back to being I'm a monster. Or I'm different than another woman. It's like okay, cool, that's fine, but you've been doing this for how long now? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, Dynasty. That's the reason why we're here. Fantastic pay-per-view. Outside of, honestly, the main card, outside of really one match that didn't work for me.
And I probably disagree with you even on that. I thought the whole thing was good.
But even that one, I don't think it was a bad match. I just think that it didn't. Something just felt off that whole match. It was never anything that it's not like they were performing bad. It's just the flow of it. It just didn't flow right.
Now I'm intrigued. Let's get to it. I want to know which match that is.
It's the one match everyone else is shitting on. It's not a.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's the same match.
Then I'll fight you. I'll fight you a little bit, but I'm not much.
Fight on. But let's go with 0 Hour first. We had 3 matches on 0 Hour. Only one really mattered. Not that the other 2 matches don't matter. It's just like that was the only one.
And that was it. The second one's pretty good, at least. Yeah.
It was, and honestly, the first one was good.
Well, yeah.
We had Trent Beretta against Matt Sydal. I'm always going to be down to watch those two work. It doesn't matter who they work. They're going to have a good match together. I mean, they were pretty solid through their whole thing. They went about 8 minutes, which was honestly more than what I thought.
This match is probably great on ECW and Sci-Fi back in the day.
Exactly. Which Sydal would have won because Sydal was the bigger name when he was Evan Bourne.
No longer there, yeah.
But it was a solid match. I could watch these two wrestle. If anything, all this match was set up for was to get Trent Beretta out there, so give
Trent a W, and then of course followed up with Orange getting a W, and then setting that up. And him telling Chuck to kind of make your decision too is kind of another follow up in the story.
I'm gonna ask this, and it could be because I haven't really been watching Rampage much anymore because just too much wrestling and I gotta do other things.
Good side note too for Rampage, by the way. Shout out to Ruby Soho. She preggers.
Yeah. She's preggers and with Angelo, which I didn't know they were really dating. So
hands, baby, man. Did I shed a tear? Maybe. Don't fucking judge me.
Someone posted this, and it was on Reddit, and Reddit's what Reddit is, but I didn't hate it. It will never fucking happen. But someone goes, why not? Why we should have a couples pay-per-view. They go, not with Ruby and Angelo because she's preggers, but it's like have like Sammy versus Tay, have Rhea versus Buddy, have and like because they go, look, these girls do wrestle guys, not on AEW or WWE.
Mixed tags. Oh, you want everyone to fight everyone.
But they want like Kyle against Sky Blue. They want like.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Good for Kyle.
Yo, you didn't know?
I seem to not know these relationships sometimes. It's not something I keep track of now.
Yeah, no, Kyle Fletcher and Sky Blue have been together for at least a couple months. Because I think actually, I don't remember when the event was, but it was recent. Like it was some indie show, and like Kyle wrestled Sky Blue, and like Ospreay was the referee.
Where the fuck was that? What?
Yeah, look it up. They wrestled. Ospreay was the special guest referee, and Kyle Fletcher wrestled Sky. I think he actually tombstone piledriver on the apron too during the match. But yeah, if someone was like, "Dude, we should have like a all couples show where all the couples wrestle each other." You get a Beth and Edge fight, and it was like, and all this stuff. I can't remember when it was recent. It was recent because I saw photos and videos of it of Kyle and Sky fighting with Ospreay as the referee. But yeah, while you're looking that up,
Uh-huh.
was this the first time Beretta used the Hell's Gate as the finisher, or has he been starting to use that since he turned heel?
Oh, finisher wise, I'm not the best on
Yeah,
because
he used the Hell's Gate, and I was like, oh damn! I was like, I haven't seen the Hell's Gate.
Chicago style wrestling. Yeah, it's weird because it's not on Cage Match, but yeah.
When was it? Was it recent? Was it like in the last couple weeks?
On 411 posted April 20th. So yeah, pretty recent.
I thought it was like this past weekend, not this past weekend, then last week when they wrestled. Because that's when I started seeing everything pop up. But yeah, Beretta used the Hell's Gate. He made it look better than Taker does. Taker couldn't bend the way they wanted to for Hell's Gate. Like every time he did it, I was like, oh dude. I was like, if you just move your leg a little more, the Hell's Gate would look so much more efficient. I don't know if it's just he was so, you know.
Oh, did you say Fletcher or O'Reilly?
Fletcher.
Oh, okay. I was thinking O'Reilly. That's why I couldn't find it.
Oh no, it's like Cal O'Reilly's married. no, Fletcher and Sky Blue are together.
Yeah, I got you now. Yeah, I saw the clip. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah. Then we also got Shibata and Cassidy against Shane Taylor and Moriarty. Shane Taylor doesn't really do much for me. And it could just be because they try to make him. He's like Shinsuke right now. It's like they're trying to give him time, but he doesn't ever win. So it's just like, I mean, granted, he did win. Didn't he win on Collision or something this week against Orange?
No,
I thought he won.
He never wins. You're right.
He won because Beretta interfered, and that's what led to this tag match. Pretty sure he won this week.
No, Shibata and Orange defeated him. Cassidy
No,
Taylor,
I'm talking about on TV.
Taylor.
I know.
I'm saying I'm looking up everything. He lost to Shibata and Cassidy. Before that, he lost to Cassidy. Before that, he lost to Hook. They did have the 6-man with Anthony Ogogo. They won that.
Yeah, I was like, I thought he won.
Line, Hook, and Shibata, but that's not Cassidy or anything.
Okay. I just know at the end of the Cassidy match, he beat the shit out of Cassidy because of Beretta. I thought maybe he had won that match.
No, they might have done some post-match shenanigans. But yeah, the only AEW match I think he's won in months, if ever, is that 6-man with Ogogo, who I totally forgot was there.
Yeah, he's just someone who's just there, and I was like, okay. I was like, I remember he had a little brief feud when he started in AEW, and then he got injured or something. He was gone.
No, he had a big ass debut. He fought Cody.
Yeah.
He fought Cody on pay-per-view and everything. Yeah, and then just got injured, or they didn't have anything for him again for a while.
Yeah, he was relegated to Dark, and we never saw him again. But I mean, the match was good. Shane Taylor just doesn't do much for me. Lee Moriarty's great. I like Lee. I just don't get much out of Shane Taylor. But Shibata and Orange, I mean, yeah, I'm glad Orange is getting a new thing with Trent. I just don't know how much screen time this thing's going to get.
They've done a decent job already. I thought they were going to go ahead and just do it for this pay-per-view because it's been a couple weeks already, and I was like, oh, okay, it's for Dynasty. But they saved it now, obviously, and they're doing another thing with Chuck. Hey, who do you stand with? So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if Forbidden Door makes sense, actually. But so it could end up just being a TV match for all we know. But unless they both pick a partner or something. But
yeah, that's the other thing. AEW is back to it was not back to, but now they are pay-per-view a month.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
every month the rest of the year.
At the end of this year, was it only 2 months were skipped, January and March maybe, or something like that, or January, February?
And they still
March, April,
doing all in and all out a week away from each
other. Yep. They didn't learn, and
did we not learn? That's going to be the only pay-per-view I'm not going to buy this year unless you find a reason to make me watch it, because I didn't buy it last year.
Hey, AEW, I'm not doing it either. I'll watch it, but you ain't making money off me because
exactly.
I'm sorry.
I'll find ways to watch it, but I'm not going to give you $100 in a week.
Exactly.
Unless it's tickets to a live event, I'm not giving you $100 in a week.
No, it doesn't matter how good that card is. And like I said, the pay-per-view itself was actually fun, but I don't think it was $50 worth because it felt like a B pay-per-view, a TNT match.
Yeah. Wasn't the main last year, wasn't it Cassidy against Moxley?
I was thinking Cage and Darby, and it was Cage and Darby with Copeland's debut, wasn't it?
No, I thought the main event was Moxley and Orange, because Orange dropped the belt. That was when he finally lost the title that he had for like ever. I thought that was the main for All Out.
You'll find out in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I was wrong. Moxley and Cassidy. Yeah, was your main event. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show itself was fine. But like again, I don't know if it was $150 worth. And like you said, it's a week later. So unless you're on HBO Max by then or something, like yeah, it's shitty to the fans. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, he said during the media scrum he's hoping to have something set up by 2025, and he's hoping to get the Ring of Honor's library and even New Japan. It's like, dude, if this is how you're gonna get if you're gonna get New Japan World combined with this, dude, I'll pay $30 a month for that shit. Because
I don't want to, but I will.
I will. Because if you're gonna give me Ring of Honor, New Japan, and AEW with the pay-per-views, hell yes, I'll pay $30 a month.
I don't know if it'll be that expensive because name a single show.
I know it won't. I'm saying I'm willing to pay that.
Right. Well, stop saying that, because if Tony hears you, he's gonna fucking do that.
Hey, Sean over at the Wrestling Crusaders says he'll pay $30.
I guess we'll do it. Yeah.
I also love that they were calling it a sellout, and you can see there was so many, not so many, but there was at least 100 to 300 empty seats in that arena.
People bought the tickets.
AKA Tony bought the tickets, probably. But there's nothing wrong with it. It was a full show. It was a full show. I just love it. They're like, it's a sold out crowd. It's like there's like a section of like 40 seats right there that are empty.
Well, to be fair, they were saying that I think as the show was just starting, so hopefully some of those.
If you are a wrestling fan and you're going to a fucking pay-per-view, if you can't get there when the actual pay-per-view,
people are like that.
I get 0 hour. I get 0 hour, but if the pay-per-view starts at 7, or 8 for you, if you can't be there on time, there's a problem with you. Okay, it's a fucking pay-per-view. And also, if you live in St. Louis and you don't think that this card deserved a ticket, you're not a true wrestling fan. I don't care, because I'm sorry, Ospreay and Danielson alone is worth the ticket, and then we got all these other matches on top of it. So that.
This is a good example of on paper this show that this could have been show of the year, and then the result, yeah, it very well may be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing, and I know we haven't gotten into the pay-per-view of it yet, but AEW, say what you want about their weekly shows. Yes, they don't book that well during the weekly shows. Yes, there's some storylines that don't hit quite as hard, but when it's pay-per-view time, they fucking go out there and they give a 5-star caliber pay-per-view. You're not going to always enjoy what the outcomes are. Case in point, one match in particular that pissed everyone off. But they're going to go out there and they're going to make sure you earned your $50 pay or your $50 price. Because the whole time watching, I was like, I know the one match alone is worth 50, but everything after that, I was like, I'm making money back on this. Because this is a fucking fantastic. And they always do that. Even at their worst pay-per-view, which was, I think, was it Full Gear last year or something, where I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of a weak one for them. Or even All Out, because it was right after All In. That is still better than the worst WWE pay-per-view. Like, yeah,
that's
not that WWE's had a bad pay-per-view lately. They've actually been really they've since Triple H.
No, I know what you're saying.
But yes, it's like something that Brian and I always say is like, yeah, you guys want to shit on the MCU, but the worst MCU movie is still better than a lot of other shitty films. So calm the fuck down when an MCU movie is bad. AEW, when they have a bad pay-per-view, it's still better than 90% of the worst WWE pay-per-views or WCW.
This pay-per-view is a good example as to why I will still definitely wave the flag of AEW. And I wave WWE's flag as well. I'm not a tribalist in one way or the other, but I'll wave the AEW flag still, because when they are clicking, and especially on a pay-per-view level, they are absolutely clicking here. If you just like good wrestling, this pay-per-view absolutely sells it here.
Especially after everyone, there was a lot of people saying that they were quitting AEW or they weren't going to watch AEW anymore after they did the All-In video, which really wasn't a big deal. If anything, it just made Jack Perry a star. But everyone was like, "Oh, this is bullshit. I'm stopping watching AEW." I was like, "This video is not the end." Like, if you're stopping watching AEW after this, you were already out the door. You just want to make it seem. You just want to make a big noise as you're stepping out the door. Shut the fuck up. Close the door. No one cares. AEW is not going anywhere anytime soon. If TNA hasn't quit, AEW is not going anywhere anytime
No,
soon.
anyone that's waving the Chicken Little League in the sky is falling. You're out of your mind.
Tony won't let this fail because he's got too much money backed into it. In fact, I think Forbes just posted that AEW is like the second or third most valuable company in the US right now, like $2 billion or some shit like that. And so it's like, that tells you right there, AEW ain't going anywhere.
No.
That doesn't mean that their wrestling might not take a turn like TNA did because they were signing too many people that they shouldn't sign, which has been AEW's problem. Is that, he's got the money, he's gonna fucking spread it, but you don't have enough hours on the shows to utilize these people. So you have to find ways to do it, whether it's a draft or relegate people to certain shows. You got to figure it out. But hell, when the pay-per-views come, you're getting your money's worth, and you got your money's worth with this. The last 0 hour match was which I don't think this was a 0 hour match until like the day of. Because I'm pretty sure
it was.
Was it? I thought this was on the pay-per-view the whole time.
No, 100%. I don't know if from the get-go it was, but definitely up to like the last Dynamite or so, it was at 0 hours. I remember even saying before the show began, like days before, like, oh, really? Like a definite title match is going to be, the title switch is going to be on the pre-show. Yeah, this was announced at 0 hour, at least a few days before.
Gotcha. Well, it was the winners take all unification of the trios belts between Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed. What the fuck got into Max during that entrance? Dude, even I was going, hey, chill the fuck out, Max. Damn, man. Like, because it was
I loved it, but
it was all at Jay, man. Like, at least go after the guns too. It's like, no, like, man, this was like directly.
He had a quick little side thing to him and then went back to Jay.
It was focused 100% on Jay.
There's a quick side to the ass boys.
I was just like, damn, man, okay, shit. But I felt like it like kind of caused everyone in the crowd going, is this supposed to be happening or is he going off book? Is he shooting right now? I don't know if Max is shooting or not.
No, it's them. This is technically a feud. Like, this has been built up for a minute. So I think this was just his idea of like, this is a feud promo.
Jay White needs to call HR on Max because damn, man, telling him how his dick's gonna taste. Fuck, Max, damn. But the one thing that made me excited for this before the match even started, I love Jay White and his red and white. That's my favorite attire.
I liked all of Bullet Club Gold. I actually said I think
fantastic.
If they make action figures of this match, I kind of want all three.
Jay White with the red and the white slits has always been my favorite.
Good stuff. And of course, the guns looking pretty much like Shawn Michaels, which is why I want it as an action figure.
I love that they always do that. They do that to dig at Billy, and I love it. I love how like one always tries to definitely look like Shawn, and the other one usually tries to look like well, actually, they both look like Shawn this time.
They both look like Shawn this time.
One tries to look like Shawn, and the other tries to look like somebody else. I can't remember what the other one is, but it's supposed to be a dig. It's not Triple H, but they always try to look like one or the other. But I love the Shawn. Every time, whenever one's dressed like Shawn, they always look great. I think it's usually Colton that always looks like Shawn. The match itself, I mean, it was solid. I mean, I don't think there was really anything crazy to write home about with it. Billy still kind of owned Jay White, which pisses off a lot of people through most of this. But I mean, dude, look at Billy Gunn. Look at him.
I'd see in retrospect the singles match what people said. I didn't pick up on it for this one. So
yeah, but I mean, Bullet Club Gold won. That was the right choice.
Yeah,
to have the belts. Hopefully, they're not going to be walking around with 6 titles.
That's what I'm waiting to see. Is this going to be the whole both titles, or are we killing off the Ring of Honor titles, or we're killing off the AEW titles? I would imagine we're killing off the Ring of Honor titles.
I mean, the Ring of Honor ones are the older ones. AEW is the newer ones, aren't they? Didn't they have the trios belts?
No, they're definitely. Oh yeah, no. The Ring of Honor's had the trios for a few years now.
Yeah.
And AEW is obviously the bigger platform. But I'm just saying, I don't know when they say, because AEW is so weird. Like, we didn't really know what the fuck the Continental type thing was. Like, is that killing off the Ring of Honor New Japan thing? And nope, like Kingston still has just the New Japan title now. Mark has one. Okada has the other. So I'm just saying, AEW is not quite sure what the tag titles mean.
Yeah, but did you have anything you wanted to add to this match? I say it was a 0 hour match. I mean,
no, I liked it. I thought it was a good match. I thought, again, nothing is bad on the pre-show here. This could have, you could argue putting this on the main show because this is a title kind of thing. But I don't really know what I would have taken off. I mean, because I know what match you're gonna like the least, but at least that was kind of a hardcore match. So I don't know if you would take that one off. That kind of makes sense to kind of break up the pace. So, yeah, it was fine.
You're not gonna move Jericho to 0 hour.
No, true. Well, yeah, but I'm
You're
just
not gonna move Jericho
if that
to 0
was
hour.
just a normal singles match, I would have said on paper, regardless of Jericho's politicking, it should have been. But it being a hardcore match, I could see why you leave.
If anything, you do with Jericho and Hook is you place it in a different spot on the card. That's what you should have done. Is that should have been before the main event, so that way the crowd wasn't fucking exhausted going into the main.
The one thing I'll say about the main of the 0 hours, I think it's a good example of what's good and bad about AEW. I didn't really love the build up to this match. You know what I mean? Like the whole we hate each other, but we're gonna team for a minute because we're faces and we trust you guys all of a sudden, even though you've been nothing but assholes. Oh, look, they turn on them. What a surprise. Just makes the faces look dumb. The house invasion, which was not the lamest house invasion of all time. Hey, we're in my parents' house. Oh shit, there's Billy. Let's leave. They didn't break nothing. They didn't steal nothing. They just
at
literally
least
the house.
With Dom and Rhea invading Ray's house, Dom got arrested, which started a whole character change.
They got slapped. They got arrested. Like it's something happened, right?
And then Dom became a thug, and it was great. Like there was a reason for it.
But something happened. Usually something does. Whether it's hey, look, I'm at your child's crib, or they break something, or whatever.
Like when Swerve went to Hangman's house.
Hey, look, we're here. Oh shit, let's leave. Like nothing bad.
Like, what did you think he was going to do?
Visited.
Billy wasn't going to go. Exactly. So, if anything, we're just bringing
it was kind of a lame build-up, but it ended up being a good match. That's why I was saying the good and bad of AEW. Yeah. Was the build-up kind of wonky and whatever? Yeah. Was the end result kind of cool? Yeah. So
maybe they could have just said, "Hey, we're bringing over our friend Jay. Mom, be cool.
Break something. Hey, Dad."
Yeah. He's got a baseball bat.
Break the TV.
Exactly.
Whatever. I don't know. Just make something happen. I just thought it was the lamest house invasion. Like, because you assume something's gonna happen and nothing happened.
I'm not sure where they're gonna go from here with any of that. I hope Jay goes more to singles.
He's a 6-man champ.
I get that, but let Jay feud for like the Ring of Honor title or something. Yeah. Give him something. He needs a singles title. Jay is too good to be regulated to the trios.
Jay is one of those guys, where you look at it, he's gone from he's main evented an AEW pay-per-view now to pre-showing twice in a row, I think, right? I think he's there's a 10-man when they were a group was a pre-show. So he could do something more.
Have him feud with Briscoe or something. Give this man something to work on.
Who's the TNT champ? Copeland. Copeland would be cool.
But after the events of the pay-per-view, it's probably going to go to Malachi.
No, true. Well, I'm just saying not a lot. Yeah. By the time they're done with the 6-man shit, like he can slide into.
I mean, unless you want to slide him in to hit Swerve's first opponent.
See, again, you can't now though. Like I don't like down the line, but like again at the moment, like
if you're going by the rankings thing, no, because I think Takeshita is now the new number 1 contender. Because I'm pretty sure Takeshita was number 2 ranked. He was.
But they're also they're already ignoring that shit. So
whatever. No, they just brought it back.
Oh, I know, but they're already ignoring it as in like there's already been like a guy like for instance Pac. Like why was Pac all of a sudden getting a?
No, I'm talking about for the world title.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that they've ignored it in other levels. So I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if like whatever is the contender isn't necessarily going to be the guy that gets it.
Speaking of Pac, starts with Okada.
Good way to open.
That is how you open a show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That is how you open a show. I was so excited for this match because I was like, dude, Okada and Pac, this is going to be fucking amazing. And they did not disappoint. I also keep forgetting that the Continental rules is that no one can interfere. So I love it also because, well, yes, Okada is a heel. It also adds to the babyface persona of Okada that he can't have anyone interfere on his behalf. And Okada's just going to be that good that he's going to win straight up. He might cheat, but he's going to cheat in the match. He's not going to have like someone come down and run down and help him or anything like that. These guys worked well together. They worked it's Okada and Pac. Of course they're going to work well together. But this was a great opener. It started off the show hot. Okada getting ready to do the Rainmaker and just flips everyone off. I thought it was like, good job, Okada. Good job. I really, really enjoyed this match. What were your thoughts on it?
100% with you, man. Now we start off. This is, I think, to me, maybe the perfect way to start the show here. I don't know what else you maybe
The
would
only
have
other
started.
thing I think would have been the ladder match. That's the
Yeah, but
only other
even
thing.
to me, as also a booker too, like, no, I think the simple heel face singles, like, this is what wrestling is, like, not a gimmick. I think this is the perfect way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A good singles match, if you can, to me, is always kind of the right way to go. And yeah, this, as if I had predicted, I would have said this is what I would have chosen as the first match here. Yeah, as far as the only problem with some of this card, it was an easy prediction, because Okada's new. This is his first defense, so it was like there was no real like, oh, Pac might have it,
I
but
don't want Pac to lose, but it also makes no sense for him to win right now either.
Yeah, no.
Also,
he's been gone for a while too. By the way, I looked it up. I was like, he's gone for like 6 to 9 months. Like, this dude,
that's because he keeps getting hurt,
and then like he just does sabbaticals in UK and whatnot. So
well, visa stuff and everything and all that kind of shit. But yeah, they also gave him 22 minutes.
Yeah, everything was given a good amount of time here.
I mean, TBS title was really short.
Let me finish, John. I said, except for the TBS.
I chalk that up to more Julia being injured.
Julia might be hurt, and two, the one other thing I would argue, even if she wasn't hurt, kind of like what we've seen in the past, where like, because I remember Dustin Rhodes said this with Shawn Spears, like, people were like, oh, that match was shorter than we thought it would be. Not every match needs to be a 15, 20-minute banger. You need kind of like briefer, you know what I mean? Kind of break up things. So yeah. I could also just seeing on paper that match only, even in general, being slotted for like 10 minutes. Because like, you kind of want that. You don't need every match to be a 15, 20-minute, like, nonstop finisher banger.
Yeah. Next was House of Black against Copeland, Eddie, and Briscoe, which just felt like the most random thrown together match.
These 6 people, we want them on the card. That's what AEW loves about trios.
Exactly. But I mean, it is what it was. I mean, you know how House of Black wrestles. You know how Copeland and Kingston and Briscoe wrestle, much like the 6-man trios match. It's like, it was fine. Everyone hit their shit. They all got their shit in. It looked good. It progressed the storyline further for Copeland and House of Black. You got the Mist, which Malachi knows how to do the Mist, because it didn't look like he sprayed Copeland at all, but then you see Copeland, I was like, he's caked in that shit. So it's like, it didn't look like he did much, but he was coaxed in that. But I thought it was for what it was a solid like collision match on a pay-per-view, which I say that and I like collision matches because they give a lot of time to them. Yeah. But like, this is something that could have been on Collision, because I still think that it should have just been Copeland against Malachi. I thought that they should have had a singles match there, but I get you probably want more teams because there's a lot of singles one-on-one matches on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's why I think maybe I'll forgive it more than you. I think I liked it a little bit more than you because I can see.
I just would have rather watched Copeland and Malachi
on paper, yeah. But then I see that also, like, this is a good big win for House of Black. I feel like they also kind of needed a nice win. I don't know if they could transition, later on back into the 6-man as well. And I think this sets up kind of several. And technically, this could set up several really cool singles matches here because everyone on the face side has a title here. So, like, I would love to see. I don't know if Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view in the next 9 months, but if Mark fought Buddy or Brody would be cool, and then Kingston fighting Buddy or Brody, as well as Copeland versus Malachi. Like, this could set up several really cool singles matches if they do it right, or just do it at all.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoy most of everyone in this match. Everyone. Like I said, they got their stuff in, so I was happy with what it was. Like I said, they progressed the TV title storyline. Also, sad notice, we haven't had Christian since he lost the belt.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
It does too. I mean, I don't know
if it's my father.
Which will make me that much more excited when we see him here, I think that's and I know we're jumping ahead maybe now, like, that's kind of why, like, I feel like Jericho should do a sabbatical now, because I feel like we need to miss him in order to kind of and like him again, because right now,
not even that, he needs to be gone for like a year. Because if he comes back in like 3-4 months, everyone's gonna go, "Oh fuck, Jericho's back."
But like, I think it should be a minute. It should be 6 months. I don't know about a year, but like, I wouldn't be hated necessarily either. But that's what I mean. Like, we miss Christian. We also were hotter on him to begin with when he left, but yeah I'm sure we'll pop when we see him again.
Yeah. Next, we had the TBS title, Willow Nightingale against Julia Hart. Obviously, we kind of all knew because of Mercedes, there was no way Willow wasn't winning this match. Also, because Julia's banged up. She just came back and she got banged up again. So let's let Julia heal. Because they didn't even know she was going to be able to wrestle this match because her shoulder got banged up bad. Honestly, the highlight of this was Stokely. Stokely was killing me. There's what was it? I think he like sat down and so and so, or so it's nice to see you, Stokely. He's like, yeah, it's okay to see you, Taz. Kiss my ass. And I just started laughing. Or when Willow won, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese. That line.
I like him a lot too.
He had to grow on me. He had to grow on me. I wasn't really crazy about him when he wasn't with the girls, and then as soon as he was with the girls, I'm like, why is this a thing? Because like they act like they didn't want to be with him, and then he was just looked like he was trying to start a rift between them. They finally killed that story, and now they're just all working together. Granted, Statlander can't use charisma to get out of a paper bag. She's a good wrestler, but my God, Statlander needs somebody. She does.
I mean,
she can't act herself out of a paper bag, man. I like her.
I don't know if it's that bad. I agree with what you're saying a little bit.
The fucking world star thing on, dude. No, Statlander can't.
Listen, but I think she has an inherent charisma. She's very likable.
She's a likable person. That doesn't necessarily mean she's a compelling character on TV. She's a good wrestler. She's a little too. The best way I can describe it, she's a lot like Anna Jay sometimes, where she's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
No, I don't agree with that. I think she's better than that. I think Jade Cargill's a little bit like that more.
Oh, she totally is too. But so's Anna Jay. There's some wrestlers out there that are still very much 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like
Anna Jay got signed too early, I think.
Anna Jay, she has potential.
Oh, 100.
More fluid with her wrestling.
No, and that's why she got signed, is because I think she showed like more potential than most with how much she had been in. But like she's someone that they could use seasoning and like just more indies, or put her in Ring of Honor, keep her there for a minute, something like that.
I mean, you can't be like Julia Hart, who was basically like, oh yeah, she's the cheerleader manager, kind of like Alexa Bliss was. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, let's give her some edge. It's like, oh shit, they're actually good. They're actually progressing way faster than we expected. Alexa and Julia Hart are basically two sides of the same coin, in a good way. And Willow, she was someone who she had to win me over too. I wasn't like crazy about Willow.
I love her. Nah, I disagree here.
No. I'm fine with her now. I'm talking about when she first showed up. I was just like, okay, she's Bailey. She's basically Bailey. And her wrestling wasn't really winning me over.
Doesn't make her Bailey.
She is Bailey. She's
a nice person. More than one person. Than Kylie Ray. Is she Bailey?
Kylie Ray was a carbon copy of Bailey. It didn't work.
It didn't go the way I'd hoped.
He was a carbon copy of Bailey. Willow was Bailey, but Willow had that edge to her that Bailey didn't have until she turned heel. But like I said, everyone probably realized we could be cute and smiley, and it works because it worked for Bailey. It didn't work for us. No, like Willow finally turned it into some edge, which is why I started to like Willow. Is that she wasn't just playing this Bailey-esque Ring of Honor character. Kylie Ray was 1,000% just a Bailey ripoff. She was. You can't defend her otherwise. That's nothing against Kylie Ray as a wrestler, but her character was 1,000% a Bailey ripoff. Willow has adapted her character to someone who was like a Bailey, to someone who has Bailey tendencies that can still fucking tear you a new one, which is what I liked about her. She adapted to it. And it was right around the time she fought Mercedes that I started to take notice. I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot more to Willow than just being, ROH's Bailey kind of thing. So she has grown. And I say Statlander can't charisma herself out of a bag, which is true. But she is a really good wrestler. She's consistent. She just the alien gimmick is at least something unique, but then they abandoned that, and then she just started to come out and just, I don't know why she does the ASL. It's probably just someone personal to her.
It's probably I gotta imagine that.
But she just comes out and she just does the ASL and then wrestles and then goes to the back. There's not really a whole lot to her character, man. When she was an alien, there was at least, she's an alien. And it's like now she's just, it's Statlander. She just goes down, wrestles, and that's it. At least with Willow and Stokely, they're giving her a little bit more, but she's just kind of the one that just kind of is there. I want more for her. I want her to have more, but someone needs to help her along the way, and Stokely could be that person. But the match itself, I think Willow and Julia were solid. Like I said, for what they had to work. I think for someone being injured, Julia didn't really show the injury that much. I hope she's not out long. I don't know if you got to see the video they shot for her after she lost the belt.
No.
It was like a backstage segment. It showed her basically kind of crying in like a red, like villainous light. And then Brody, at least it looked like Brody, because you always see like the shoulder and back of somebody. It looked like Brody Lee. Or Brody King, sorry. Brody walked up to her and like took his jacket off and like put it around her and like basically told her, I think it was something like, the darkness is only going to get brighter once we rip through it or some shit like that. And then you saw Julia's face like change, like, okay, I had my moment of weakness. Now I'm back, kind of thing. So it was like a minute and a half long video that they posted on Twitter like right afterwards. So it was good. I don't know how long she'll be out or if out at all, but it was a good thing. I hope they show it on like Dynamite or something like that, because I think it looked good for Julia. Next we have the AEW International Championship. Roderick Strong as Kyle O'Reilly. Talk about a feud that just got thrown together so fucking fast. They should have let this get. They should have let this.
She heard you.
That's fine, Statlander. You have potential. Be better. Take some acting classes. Come up with a different character aspect.
ASL for FU.
Or that means go fuck yourself. But anyway, I love this match. I'll watch Roddy and Kyle wrestle any day of the week.
Yeah.
I just think that this storyline was incredibly rushed.
Absolutely.
I think they should have let this breathe a little more. Kind of like with where you're just saying, with Orange and Trent. Let this thing breathe. Let them go a little bit. Let them, kind of like with the whole Adam storyline. Let Kyle kind of just get his own way. Don't just immediately attack Kyle, because you didn't even bring Adam into this. I figured Adam of anyone would have been brought into this storyline, but Adam was almost, granted, I heard, which totally deviates exactly how this match ended, that they were taking Adam off TV because he wasn't healing his ankle properly, or his ankle wasn't healing properly because he was constantly having to travel, which the end of the match really doesn't show that at all. But this was a storyline that should have rested. Now, the match itself, this was a typical Roderick, Strong, Kyle O'Reilly match, and I say that in the best possible way. These guys went out, beat the shit out of each other. They were laying in those forearms. Those forearms were getting some good pop on it. But I enjoyed the match for what it was, and then we got the big surprise at the end, Adam walking around. I'm intrigued by the dirty-ass look he gave Wardlow at the end. But what were your thoughts on the match?
No, I like this one a lot too. I mean, like you said, there's no way these two are going to have a bad match by any means.
They will only have a bad match if they choose to go out and put on a bad match.
The build-up again is another kind of wonky one here. I think Kyle O'Reilly's whole run so far has been kind of weird. Like, he kind of came out, he's like, I'm not really for anyone. He's kind of played it too cool. Like, he kind of reminds me of like Rob Van Dam. He just kind of seems like, I'm just here to wrestle, and
I'm just so happy that I can wrestle again, and I'm back, and it's just like, okay.
And then there was only one attack, because we didn't really they had announced the match, and these two hadn't even really done anything against each other yet, And then finally, after the sixth man is when Strong attacked him, and that was it. As far as any actual kind of real animosity, that was one segment we had with animosity. Kyle O'Reilly's only had 2 matches before that,
And he gets an immediate title
match. Exactly, yeah. Back to the whole title shot thing. He won 2 matches, and now he's a top contender for a major belt and whatnot.
Hey, and if you're Mercedes, you don't even have to have a match. You're just Mercedes.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why, again, you should kill the rankings. Because, again, it's not like Mercedes doesn't deserve a match or anything. That's a big enough match. And I'm glad they're treating it like a big match, too. They already announced as soon as Willow won. They had the graphic ready for Double or Nothing. So, yeah, I mean, no, it was another good match. Other match that, like I said, I don't know if I'd go out of my way to see, but thought it was very good. Again, added to the quality of the card.
Yeah, it's just a solid middle of the card match. Did exactly what it needed to do. I'm not against obviously watching them wrestle again. Like I said, I'll watch them wrestle each other any day of the week. I think the biggest story that came out of this match was Adam Cole walking around, no longer in the boot, and also what the fuck was the look at Wardlow.
Wardlow, yeah.
So we'll see where they go from here. Also, now that Adam's walking around, how long are we away from MJF? That's the big question. How far are we out from MJF showing back up now? Granted, I'm not saying that Adam's going to be in a ring in a week because he's not. He still has a journey to go. But now that he can be up and around, how much longer out until we have? I still think August. I'm predicting like All In or All Out. There's your hook. All Out has Cole MJF. That would make me watch it. That would make me pay for it. If MJF's first match back is against Adam Cole at All Out, that'll bring me into one. Oh shit! I gotta fucking buy the pay-per-view. Now to the match that I think didn't work. Jericho and Hook, FTW rules for the FTW Championship, the belt that doesn't matter, the belt that doesn't mean that has no correlation to any show, but they sure hell want to make a championship match be a championship match. It was fine. It just felt off. Granted, this got more story than Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly did, but it just felt off. The wrong person won. I think this should have went on right before the main to cool the crowd down. But yeah, there was just this match just did not get out of the gates for me. What was your? Obviously you liked it because you said that you had a. If we haven't talked about the match that you didn't like yet, I'm going to be shocked for what the rest of the card is. Which match was it? Which match didn't work for you?
No, I don't think I said any match did not necessarily work for me. I said the match that really worked the least.
Okay,
it's probably this one, yeah, because I don't disagree with anything you said here. Again, build-up was kind of, again, weird, kind of wonky. No one really turned here. Like, Jericho kind of accidentally attacked Taz. So, again, I'm not really, like, hating Jericho. I'm sure not hating Hook. So, again, I'm lukewarm as to who wins this thing. I don't care about this title. This was Hook's fourth defense in 238 days.
It's not a real title. It's the $1 million title.
It's not a real title. At least the $1 million title, 9 times out of 10, was a vanity thing. It was, hey, I'm a heel. So, but why does Hook, who's not a heel, give a shit about this fake title?
Because it's his dad's belt. That's the only correlation to it.
They don't even sell that very much. It's not even Hook's like, I take pride because this is my papa's belt. Like, that's not even sold.
Outside of like just recently, they do everything they can to have Hook almost not acknowledge his dad. Taz acknowledges Hook, but Hook like doesn't acknowledge Taz.
Well, and even Taz is very nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, it's my kid, but he does his own thing. Like, they've never really made much of a like.
That was actually a pretty good Taz impression, by the way.
He's like, whatever.
Whatever.
No, but even with Taz, like, they very much make it where he's like, he's his own guy. Hey, like, it's not a very low. Like, I could see them at like Christmas, like handshaking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of hugging. Like, I don't even know if they love each other. I don't know. I'm sure they respect each other, but
because it's wrestling, you have to respect each other.
So I think because I also don't care about the title is also why I'm less invested as Jericho winning. If this was like a TNT title match, I might be a little more annoyed. Like, Jericho doesn't need the TNT title. Hook should have it longer. He's the young star. Because I don't care about the FTW title. Whatever, give it to Jericho. I don't care. And at least it gave me a little something different. It broke up the pace. It's the only kind of like, obviously the ladder's a little hardcore, if you will, but it was a bit of a different match, obviously coming off of what are we just coming off of? More straightforward, great singles match with Strong and O'Reilly. We're about to go into a relatively normal women's match here. So it broke up the pace. It was fine. Nothing was botchy, really, from what I remember here. There's a couple of kind of interesting things where it's like, that wouldn't hurt as much or whatever, but it was okay. It wasn't
more or less botchy. It was just more or less some of the landings were a little rough. But that's also chalk it up to Jericho's age, also his weight compared to Hook.
Yeah, no, there's one scary like T-bone in this can where I'm like, ooh, that cannon landed a little bit more. That really could have cricked his neck. Like, yeah, there's a couple scary episodes.
It's better than when they wrestled on Dynamite and like Hook hit a clean suplex on Jericho and Jericho's acting like his neck got fucked. I'm like, dude, you landed pure. Like, you're fine. Like at least act like you landed badly to chalk up the injury. This match they could have played that off and it would have worked. But like I didn't really buy the whole like Jericho going, I'm sorry, and then I'm gonna hit you. It's like
I watched with the people. We all kind of laughed at that. We're like, this is not Shawn and Flair. Like, you guys aren't that close.
It's not even like Sting and the Young Bucks last month. Where it's like, we're sorry, we hate you. Like, it's just like it was. More
if this was Jericho and Guevara, I might believe that because they've been built up as to like a clique for so long. But this is like
a 2-3 week arc
matches, and like you just didn't get along, and like Jericho accidentally hit your dad. Like, who? Why are you?
Like I said, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't work.
It's too quick.
Once again, too quick. You had almost 2 months to book this show. I love this show, but there are just some matches that just don't make. Like Roderick and Riley shouldn't have happened on the show. It's a great match, but storyline didn't work. I would have believed Orange and Trent having a match on the show before I would have put fucking Hook and Jericho on here. Great. It's just there's just more. Like I said, say what you want about their weekly shit. Tony needs help booking the weeklies. There's too much show now. There's too much hours to book. Yes, the matches are still solid, but you need help booking the actual stories. When they work, they're great. When they don't work, oof, it is noticeably bad. But, like I said, I consider this the weakest match on the show. Even though Willow and Julia were only 6, I feel like what they did in their 6 minutes was good. This is the only match that didn't work. Once this match ended, though, I feel like the rest of this pay-per-view was fucking amazing. Tony and Thunder Rosa went out and killed it. Thunder Rosa, I've kind of like gotten a little lukewarm on her lately, just because she's been gone so long, and she just doesn't click with me on the mic as much as I'd like. But this was the first time where I was like, man, this reminded me of when her and Baker fought.
Right? Yeah, it was like great.
Yeah, like I was like, this is the first time I was going, oh shit! Like they're giving these women plenty of time. It was only a 15-minute match, but it fucking felt longer, and I mean that in a good way.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, it maximized the minutes again. Yeah.
Yes, like they went out there and they beat the ever living shit out of each other. I was so worried for Tony when Thunder went for that double stomp and she went too high and landed like right there. Like Tony is lucky she didn't get fucking hurt. But this match was great. They went out there and fucking tore the roof off, and I love that Tony won with a fucking low blow. Yes, it hurts for women too, everybody. But I love this match. It was probably the best Tony Storm match I've watched in a while.
Yeah, I think about it.
Not that Tony has bad matches.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying this is maybe the best, like, pound for pound. I think these two worked well together. Like you said, I think they're both like, they're kind of people that when they fight people like each other, they kind of both laid their shit in. Like, yeah, this is pretty good.
They bring the best out of each other. Honestly, like, and then we still got the Deonna Purrazzo out of this. I don't know where they're going to go with that. Like, is it going to become a triple threat? Yeah. I don't know how that would work with them in a triple threat. I feel like one person's just always going to be laying on the ground.
Probably.
But I'm intrigued to see where they go with this. Tony,
no, I am too, because quality match-wise, this is good.
Tony's media scrum, that was something else.
Tony is always on the media scrums. This was again another great one. Quick one because you kind of went in and out.
The Nikki Bella attack. Damn. You can't hold a pussy scented candle to me. Wow. Okay. I was like, I'm watching her and I'm like, yeah. She said that. I was like, oh shit. Okay. All right. And then
I love that Tony lets everyone go wild on the media scrum. Like, there's obviously no like keep it PG-13. There's media scrum on YouTube.
PG-13. My ass. Like, she's not.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, there is no mandate of like let's keep this as if we're on TNT, like PG-13. Obviously, Tony's like, you're on YouTube. Fucking go.
I love that everyone for the most part is just kind of themselves, and Tony is still just 1,000% still in character. Like Willow's out there just talking about her life and stuff like that, which was good. You have Swerve going out there kind of talking just like as
Swerve was kind of the realist.
Yeah, and then here's Tony.
I enjoy stuff like that. MJF's a good example. Roman Reigns and Mania was a good example.
Yep.
Like,
Rock completely just abandoned his character.
Remember Cody Crybabies? Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we gotta finish the story, guys. Fucking Dwayne, they still have more than Mania, dude.
Sometimes you gotta pivot. Like, he'd completely dropped and it was just Dwayne.
No, he dropped the whole character persona right there.
So everyone does it differently here. Some are half and half. Some are completely dropped. Some are 100% in character. I like them ones because at least it's something different too. Like, she's the kind of reason where, like, honestly, again, going out of your way, I'd go out of your way to watch it. I really would.
I would. It's short and sweet too. Between this and like Romans and hell, was it the night when Jay and Cody won and like the start of the Yeats thing that night, where it looked like Cody and Jay were either high or drunk when they came out because they couldn't stop jiggling.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the best ones,
the first reporter though, that guy was a jackass. Where he's like trying to make a Luther comment. And it wasn't even a question, it was a joke. And even Tony was just like,
just no soul. I think she was just silent, wasn't she?
She just looked at him, just like if anyone has a question, you're a fucking idiot. And then this guy goes and says that, and then the Mariah May thing, boom, storm off. You're pushing the Mariah May storyline. Because I feel like I don't see Tony dropping the belt unless it's to Mariah May right now. Or Mariah May cost her the title or something like that. Like, clearly that's where the build is. That's where the build is going right now, which is why I think Mercedes is going for the TBS title and not for the world. Because I feel like the Mariah May is the main story that they're going to lead to, barring an injury. But because every media scrub, it's always been, hey, what about Mariah May? And then she blows her off. Now she storms off when Mariah May gets mentioned. So, not that I think Mariah May should be the one to take the belt from Tony, because I think Mariah May still has some time. She needs to, she's good, but she's not where Tony is at yet. But yeah, that match was great. Ospreay.
We can skip the next match, right? Nothing much to say.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, it was a shit match. Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. Before this was the first match announced, and I was like, I'm already sold. Like,
hey, you know what would have been ballsy? Don't even announce other matches.
It's no different than when a movie that you love comes out. Like, we just announced Deadpool versus Wolverine. I don't need to see a trailer. You already have me, man. You already have me. I don't need to see a trailer for this. It's just,
don't give me another clip or nothing.
I don't want to see a single thing. Don't spoil it. You announced Ospreay Danielson. I was like, all right, good. I'm done. Well, we're going to these other matches. I'm fine.
You had my wallet. You're good.
You could have had Angelico against fucking
Peter Avalon.
Peter Avalon. I'm like, and have that for 10 at the best of 10. Wait, Ospreay and Danielson are fighting? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm fine. Sure. Good. This match. Take it away. You go first.
You know, my one hesitation was, including myself, we're putting a lot of hype on this.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you just joked. Like, you know what I mean? Give me
expectations.
The expectations through the roof. You know, you could have given me a Helico and then have a London in the best of 10. And I still would have given you my 50 for it. But so I was like, I really am afraid it's going to be not even, there's no way, again, kind of like O'Reilly Strong. There's no way this was ever going to be anything less than, I'd say, 4 stars. Maybe on like their worst ever, 3.5. Like,
if anything, it felt like they were holding back because they were going to have a rematch at the next pay-per-view.
Right. Like, I would have happened before. You know what I mean? That's why I actually thought Danielson might have had a shot because, I mean, obviously, again, I feel like predictability-wise, this was definitely Ospreay's match to win. But if, like, they wanted to do a back and forth, maybe Danielson. But yeah, as in basically what I'm getting at is it met expectations, if not surpassed expectations. It's the match you wanted here. It was hard hitting. It was back and forth. It was 32 minutes. It's the longest match on the show. But again, like if you had asked me off my head, I would have said 25, maybe 30, but like not in a bad way at all. Like, yeah, it's just a really solid match that you would expect from two of the best now and 5 years ago, 5 years from now, probably. So yeah.
I honestly at one point was like, I would not be mad if they went a whole hour. They're not going to because of the pay-per-view. But if they went for, because when they said this is a 60-minute time, I'm like, oh, they're going long. If this match is under 20,
I think they went the perfect amount. I think anything more. I think once you get to that 35-40 range, even if it's good, if I feel you feel it a little bit here, 33 is perfect.
What I love about this match, and they even said it on the announcement. I felt like that's the one thing. Say what you want about Don Callis. Don Callis is great commentating because he even will like talk shit about his own guys because he was talking shit about Ospreay during this. He's gonna keep it down the middle. Like he's gonna talk shit about Danielson, Nigel. Fuck, I love fucking Nigel. But like they're gonna call shit out when Ospreay fucks up. And they said this in the match. This match was 80-20 in Danielson's favor. Danielson made Ospreay wrestle Danielson's match. Ospreay wasn't going around. He never hit the Storm. Was it Storm Zero? When he picks him up and he never got to hit that. He only got to hit the he hit 2 hidden blades, the main one and then the one in the match. But like this, Ospreay did not get his shit in, if you will. This match was completely wrestled as a Danielson match, which made it that much fucking better because Ospreay fucking killed it wrestling that. We know Ospreay can wrestle pretty much any kind of style, but he loves the high flying style. He loves the hard hitting style, which is what Danielson is. But the fact that in story mindset that Danielson kept Ospreay for the most part grounded and kept him and made him fight his match storyline wise, proves that Danielson knew how to outsmart the young guy, but also showed that Ospreay is capable of wrestling Danielson's style and succeeding. I loved the way the story was told. I loved the slow burn of it, and then boom, something quick, and Danielson would work himself back down. I loved the facial reactions to them in this. When there were so many moments where I was like, "Oh, this could be bad. This could be bad." Like when they did the double underhook German. I was like, they're sitting. I'm like, "Oh, reverse this. Like, oh, this is gonna be a bad." And he landed pure. And I was just like, I always hated taking that because I never landed properly. I always overextended, and I always landed high on my neck or on my shoulder. Ospreay landed pure. So I was so happy about that. But this match was great. He didn't even get to hit Cheeky Nando's. He didn't hit that in the match either.
Which one's that? I remember the move name.
That's when Danielson's on the turnbuckle and he tucks his head and then he super kicks him.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't hit that. So like I said, Ospreay did not hit a lot of his stuff because he never got to wrestle his match, which I love that story that they told that. This match was fucking amazing. And when you got the moment where they're in the corners and they're basically like, okay, fuck this. I'm coming. You know what I'm about to hit you with. I know what you're about to hit me with. Let's see who fucking stands. And they fucking like the face. That was pure amazing at that moment. And then fucking Ospreay hits him, and then he goes for the Oz Cutter, and then he hits the Busaiku knee on him out of the Oz Cutter. Ugh. And the perfection, pitch perfect. You have this much space to hit, and he hit it perfectly. Hell, even when he did the hidden blade outside the ring with the ref there, and he doesn't even hit the ref. Like, you have that much space. I know how hard that space is to hit. You know how hard that space is to hit. And this match was chef's kiss. And all I felt was bad for the Young Bucks and FTR for having to follow this. Because this crowd was fucking spent by the time this match ended. St. Louis, say what you will, they were a phenomenal crowd, especially during this match. The "We're Not Worthy" chant, I fucking loved. I loved that we got the Wayne's World "We're Not Worthy" chant during this match. I loved everything about this. I even loved how it ended with Danielson playing like he got seriously hurt, and which led to Ospreay saying in the media scrum that he's retiring the Tiger Driver 91. I don't think he will. I think he'll bring it out for like the big stuff near the end. This match was everything I wanted and more. I'm interested to see where they go from here. Who's Ospreay's next challenger? Who's Ospreay going after next? Is it going to be in Blackpool Combat Club? Because he hasn't fought Moxley yet. Moxley's the New Japan champ. I don't know if they're going to go that way. It looks like they're kind of sticking with the Callis family, but I feel like that would be the inevitable next big match. But at that point, though, Moxley's going to have to win unless you want a quick title switch, since Moxley's now New Japan champ. I don't know where they go here with this, but I'm intrigued.
I'm not sure. I know like the initial kind of end game would be, Ospreay maybe swerve it all in, but
Yeah.
Again, that's been away. We got a couple days before that. Forbidden Door. I'm gonna get you bringing a New Japan guy for Forbidden Door, possibly. Yeah, get you through May. I don't know. We'll see.
And like I say, there's still a lot up in the air because we don't know if Kenny will be back by then or MJF or anything. So there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of storylines where it's like they have Plan B, Plan C, Plan D. Depending on if this person comes back, then we'll shuffle to this, and we'll shuffle to this. Or at least I hope they do. I hope they're not just going willy-nilly, like every week to week, like, oh, let's do this. But, this match was perfection. There's been a lot of great matches this year. That match has definitely number one match of the year in my eyes. Next, we have the ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Champs. We got the Young Bucks. We got FTR. Dude, Dax bleeds like Stone Cold. Hands, like he was bleeding. So I don't even know how did he get busted open? I just know I put my head down 1 second and I looked up and he was just bleeding like a stuck pig all over the ring. How did he get busted open? Do you know? Was it a chair shot? Was it a ladder shot?
No, the initial. No, I'm not sure. I just know at one point you see it. It's like, oh, okay.
And then he's just dripping blood everywhere. I was like, I don't even know how that even happened. And I'm too afraid to rewind because I don't want to fuck the feed up. But real sidebar, real quick, because we have our living room set. We have 2 TVs next to each other, and right in the start of Ospreay Danielson, my girlfriend grabs her remote, or she's shifting in her seat, and she accidentally sits on the other remote and turns off the fucking event. I thought the feed cut. The noise that came out of me. But I thought I was like, no! She goes, I'm so sorry. I hit the button. I go, oh my God, I'm so glad it was you. I thought I lost the feed right when Danielson and Ospreay was about to start. My blood pressure.
Oh my God, why?
Yes, I was about to lose my shit. Because it was like they're like a minute in. They were a minute in and that happened. But the noise that came out of me was insane. But yeah, the tag team ladder match. What were your thoughts on this?
No, this is a fun ladder match here. I think we're better than the WrestleMania one here because I thought they had enough, spots that were a little bit more memorable here.
Yeah.
I know
that wasn't a high bar, man. But yeah,
I know. I would say that was our one kind of qualm about the Mania match. Was like it was fine, but like I don't know, it's a ladder match. I'll never go back to. Like, it is a ladder match. So like again, I don't know if I'm putting in the top 5 of all time, but again, as far as this show. Again, I think it lives up to kind of the standard of the rest of the show here. These two had a good ladder chemistry, and again, I like this one as a lot, and it's a good booking wise too as far as card placement because we were kind of trying to predict as the night went, like, ooh, what's next? Maybe we'll save the 2 big singles matches, but this is good to have banger of a singles match. You know what I mean? Tag ladder chaos, the banger of a singles match kind of thing. So good placement, good match.
Yeah, I mean, they went out there, they killed it like they always do. I would never expect the Young Bucks or the FTR to have a bad match that they can't control. There were so many spots in this match I went, ugh. Like there's that one with Cash. He went diving headfirst out, went right through the table, and I was like, I think he's okay, but ooh, that looked rough. There were so many spots in this match that looked rough. I probably have to go back at some point and see where the hell Dax got cut because that cut did not look good. But I also think it's because he gigged. But these guys know what they're doing. They're great at it. Obviously, the biggest thing afterwards was Jack Perry. I saw him come out.
By many, including myself.
What's that?
No, I said as predicted by many, including myself. They're like, oh.
I honestly wasn't reading anything, so I was not prepared for it.
No, I just figured I liked that just from my own prediction of like, well, they showed the clips. They're obviously he's still wrestling in New Japan, like. He's got to come back. This makes perfect sense. He's already in the storyline, basically.
My brain did not even remotely go to that. It didn't. So when he showed up, like at first he showed up, I was like, "Is that another fucking devil mask?" Like I thought the storyline was over. I was like, "Oh no, that's a Sting mask." And I was like, well, "Who the fuck's doing this? Is this an actual fan?" Because I love how the 2 big security guys just immediately were on him in 2 seconds. I was like, I was like, no, this has to be planned. Like, there's no, like, they would have taken his ass to the fucking ground if it was not legit. Then you pull him out, I'm like, of course it's fucking Jack Perry. Like, it was one of those things where, like, even I was like, why the fuck did I not, like, why did I not expect this? Of course. But his smug ass smile, like, was great. Great crowd pop for it. I'm intrigued as hell to see where they go from here with that. Because if anything, this thing has allowed Jack Perry to, as fucked up as the situation was, this allowed Jack Perry to grow up a little. He went over to Japan. He got over in Japan. He looks like $1 million. He got himself, not that he was ever in bad shape, because he never was, but he added some muscle. He added the beard. Whether Anna Jay likes it or not, he looks better now with it. He doesn't look like he's 12 years old anymore. He figured out how to kind of be a heel in Japan, and now he's coming over here. He did the elite thing to them. So now it's going to be him and Okada and then the Young Bucks, I'm assuming. I'm excited to see where they go with Jack Perry here. I really, really am. But yeah, great tag match. Like I said, what else do you expect from the Young Bucks and FTR? I wanted FTR to win because, like, all the time watching, I was like, who's going to win this? I was like, I mean, FTR is great, but the Young Bucks, it would make more sense if the Young Bucks won because Okada's got a belt too and stuff. But man, like, Young Bucks, I think, are better playing as the EVP Stooges with not having a title. Like, there was never a point where I was like pissed that one of them was going to win. I just don't know where you go with the next contenders for this. Like, is it going to be FTR in a rematch, or are we going to give another tag team a chance? I don't know. But I like where it's going regardless. Now, much like the crowd, I was spent by the time the main event came. We have Swerve, we have Joe. I was like watching it, and I was watching it kind of like this. I wasn't bored. Like, what I was watching was good, but I just was like, I was exhausted.
You've seen a lot. You've seen a lot at this point. You've seen the best singles match of the night. You've seen some hardcore. You've seen some great women's. You've seen some great tag. Like, that's all.
Like, there were times where I was watching it. I feel like I zoned out for about 5 minutes of this match, and then I almost had to snap myself back in. I was like, I don't know if I've been paying attention to this match. Like, I know I have. I'm looking at the TV, but I feel like I zoned out. And I feel bad. I went back and rewatched the match. It's a great match. But I mean, compared to like the 3 matches prior, though, no. But that's nothing against Swerve or Joe. You know, it's just the unluckiness of that. Like, everyone goes out there and tries to be the best match of the night, and the crowd is tired. The people at home are tired. We all knew what we were hoping to get, which is what we got, which was a Swerve Strickland win. I do think they fucked up the finish, though. Did you catch it?
Oh yeah. So you think
Swerve was he was totally supposed to double stomp him from the top.
Yes. And then they kind of did a little bit more than another. Yeah. I do feel that was possible. Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched that. I was like, they recovered well. He was totally supposed to hit the double stomp. I don't know how that would have looked though. I like in theory, like in my head, like if I'm calling someone, like that'd be a real cool spot, but I don't know how it's gonna look though. But we got the Swerve win, finally, well deserved. He has earned the hell out of that. It's a little sad that Joe's dropping the belt so soon, but it needed to happen. Do you agree with that?
4 months. I mean, 4 months.
4 months. We didn't really do a whole lot of defending though. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, like he came at the time where there actually wasn't a pay-per-view every month. So think about it, he had December, and then he only had the March and April run. He had the hook match on TV and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, I think also too, like I also look at it not in a mean way, but I think Joe also kind of lucked out in a way because I do feel like this was obviously supposed to be MJF, Cole, maybe later on Swerve. You know what I mean? I feel like Joe was in the right place at the right time. So this is kind of a bonus title reign, if you will. And at least it wasn't just like a month. At least it wasn't just March. Like they gave him a good pay-per-view win in March. Yeah. So, you know,
most of his reign was promos.
Yeah.
For the most part. Which, I mean, like I said, he's good at it. But I mean, it was just like he can't win again. He can't. Because what's the next step? Ospreay? You're just going to bypass Swerve and give Ospreay the belt? Because that to me would have been the next logical step. If you're not going to give it to Swerve, then you got to give it to Ospreay. Either way, there was no way Samoa Joe was going to make it out of Double or Nothing champion, which sucks, but it is what it is. Like I think all of us, much like Cody with Roman, I think we all, for the most part, can see the blueprint going all the way to All In. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be exciting. Does not mean that it's not going to be good. We're excited for what it's going to be. We just need to see how they put the pieces together to get it there. But yeah, Swerve wins. Like I said, solid match. It's just by the time you had those 3 matches before it come out, this match kind of felt less than. It's not their fault. It really isn't. It was just a long night of wrestling, a lot of great wrestling, and they came out and they had to fucking do something special, and the special was the title change. The match itself was just kind of your normal Joe Swerve fighting. They didn't really bring anything new, but once again, it's not their fault. It's just everyone else came out and just fucking blew the roof off, and by the time they went out there, everything was already blown away. So they're like, all right, I guess we're just gonna put on a match. But I mean, anything you'd like to add with this?
No, I mean, I thought it was still a really good match here, because the moment of Swerve actually winning here, good intro to Black Panther outfit, and also too, as an indie wrestling fan, did you catch the other nice Swerve intro moment?
Talking about the Jimmy Rave.
Yeah, the nice Jimmy Rave embassy robe. I noticed that right away. I was like, oh, that's got to be Jimmy Rave. Prince Nana, of course, manager of Jimmy Rave, who's no longer with us. So that's a nice little touch too. And again, too, it's kind of a cool moment here. I'm glad any kind of first in wrestling, first Black World Champion for AEW here, showing some more, sprinting in there. So, yeah, the overall moment was good. I saw that the match was really good here. I think if you were to separate yourself and later on rewatch the match, I think it's still a really good match. So, yeah.
Which is why I think Jericho and Hook should have went on before this to kind of palate cleanse. So that way when Swerve and Joe and them came out, I felt like it probably should have been there.
Maybe I could see some logic in that, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, this was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Not every match had to be a banger, but you don't need a banger. You have to have ebb and flow through this thing. You can't have every match be a fucking 5-star classic, because then, like I said, then what happens with Swerve and Joe is that everyone's just fucking exhausted by the time their match comes on, and then you're not focused on it. Like I said, I zoned out. I went back and rewatched it, but I zoned out during the live feed because I was just so like, overstimulated from the rest of the matches. But once again, AEW puts on another fucking excellent pay-per-view. We'll see what they do with Dynamite. Because like I said, that if there's a weak link to AEW, they're writing for the weekly shows. I don't think they just have the formula down yet. There's good shows, there's good weeks, there's bad weeks, and there's weeks where it's just like, that was okay. Like, it didn't really do much. I'm hoping because it's right out of the pay-per-view that it's going to be a strong show. But yeah, I guess we'll see where we go. Anything else you'd like to add for Dynasty before we close this?
No, I think it's a fantastic pay-per-view on paper. I was like, and we've had a couple before that have, I think, disappointed us from what's on paper to the actual product here. This surpassed expectations, I think. This is definitely a nominee for Show of the Year. And, hey, they're coming off another pay-per-view, which I think could be nominated for Show of the Year. So it's a good year so far for AEW and pay-per-view. They're 2 for 2. Obviously a little trepidation about where they're going in the future. But for now, yeah, this is a great show here. Moments, matches, kind of everything you want as a wrestling fan, I truly feel is on the show.
Between this and WrestleMania, this was a fucking damn good month of wrestling. And that leads into this week. We got the draft, which means next week, fantasy draft between Jordan and I.
Yes.
We were waiting. We were like, hey, we were going to do it after WrestleMania. And then we're like, wait a second. Let's wait until after Raw and SmackDown Mania in case someone new shows up, which Tama Tonga did. They were like, well, wait, the draft's this month. Why don't we wait till the draft so in case NXT people get called up? So no more pushing it back. After Monday Night Raw, we are going to be doing the draft. We are going to air the draft here. We finally have kind of, I think for the most part, have set up what we wanted to do. I think we're just going to do WWE for now for, I think, 6 months, I think is what we're going to test, right? 6 months. Just to see how it goes and how it does. And if it
that makes
works,
sense.
then we'll do it again and we'll add AEW to the mix. But this is literally kind of like a test drive to see how it works, how the points go. Are we able to keep track of it every week?
Do you want do you want to do a shorter one? You want to just do till like SummerSlam maybe? Like a big cutoff
already like SummerSlam's already like 4 months away. So I mean,
then you want to do maybe go a little bit longer to Survivor Series. I think there should be a big cutoff. Like we should end at something like big, is what I'm saying.
Let's game plan for Survivor Series with the potential to maybe ending it at SummerSlam if it's not going well. Okay. So we'll sign you for 7 months with the potential of dropping you down to 4 months if it's not working out. But yeah, that's going to be shot next week. We hope you guys tune in. We hope you guys check and see, who had the better roster, Jordan or myself. Who do you think is going to win? We'll also go over how we're doing the points and all that fun stuff. We hope you guys tune in for that. What did you guys think of Dynasty? Did you guys think Danielson and Ospreay was one of the best matches you ever seen, especially in the last few years? Or did you guys think it sucked? Which if you did, I don't want you watching our show. But what you think?
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here if you think that sucks. Tell us what you guys' thoughts are. What do you guys think of the new tag belts? Do you guys like them, dislike them? What are your thoughts on Rhea's injury and now Dom? I don't think we even know the extent of Dom's injury yet. We just know it's a legitimate injury. We don't really know other facts besides that. And real quick before we go, I'm going to double check wrestling news, make sure nothing's happened while we were talking. Because
anyone else fired? Anyone else injured?
Yeah, anyone get fired or injured or anything while we were doing this? Not that I am seeing. Wow.
Goldberg confirmed for Dynamite tonight. What?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. He's going to be on NXT tonight. Great.
Swerve's next.
Jesus Christ. No, okay, we're good. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Jordan. JP Owens. Yes. And until next time, in case we don't see you, don't try this at home unless it's on your little brother. Don't tell mom. Is that Statlander?
Don't tell mom. No, it's Ricky Starks and Trent Beretta.
So, goodbye. And good night. Bye.